Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and tonight I'm joined by Derek.
Hi, guys.
We're back for some more Sunset Beach. Today we're going to be discussing episodes 206 to 210. So I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. Okay. So Annie went to go see Gregory, I guess to slowly seduce him, starting her seduction in this very, very, very short dress that I don't think she could drop something and bend over in without seeing everything.
Yeah.
Which he comments on. They were talking lightly about the Liberty Foundation in details that we probably don't even know, or don't even make sense at this point. But she said something lawyer talk wise, and he was like, "Wow, you have the brains of a lawyer." And she's like, "Yeah, well, those 3 weeks in law school really paid off."
Yeah.
Which made me think about the beginning of the show when Dell thought she was in law school and he was basically paying for her to go to school, but she was partying all the time.
Yeah.
So that was a nice full circle moment. Meanwhile, she had paperwork sent over to Ben's house that also had an article about Maria's death printed out from Meg's computer. Did she think Meg was gonna get that? Like, did she know Meg's back, or did she know Meg was back at that
Yeah,
point?
she knows.
Oh, because they had that meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's trying to create trouble between Ben and Meg.
But saying that she's
yeah.
Out of it, like she's not gonna try anymore, but she's still
right.
in trouble. So Ben gets it. He's the article and he throws it in the fireplace, except for the one strip with the headline with Maria's name on it. So that's just kind of laying there. And him and Meg have a romantic night at the house. They have a chef. I don't know if that chef is always there.
No, he's not. He hired him for the night. Yeah.
Okay. So they have a catered meal. They dance. And Annie, is this when Annie calls and Meg picks up? And she mentions that the article was there printed from her laptop. So then Meg, of course, starts to get a little insecure and she starts snooping around and she doesn't see it. So she just figures Annie's lying. And they keep flashing back to that strip of paper with the headline. And I'm like, okay. And now she's like by the fireplace. And I'm like, how could you not see that? It's plain as day. But Ben saw it and he's like telling her how much he loves her. And he takes the fire poker and he just pushes it into the fire. And that's it. I thought that was going to be more of a thing. But now that's like his first secretive, sneaky thing that he did.
Yeah.
I know I'm not supposed to know who Derek is, but I keep thinking that it's Derek already.
You're not supposed to know, but I'm not saying anything.
So I feel like this is the first time we had a legitimate love scene. Oh no, Paula and Ricardo did. It's been a while since we've had a love scene, I feel like.
Yeah.
With music. Well, is this a real song? It had the word Sunset Beach in it.
Yeah, they played it before. They played it a couple times. It's like something like in Reach and Sunset Beach or something. I'm like, it's kind of silly.
This isn't their song, right?
No, Beyond the Sunset's their song, and that one's been on a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they make love for the first time where both of them know who each other is, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's just the cave.
He keeps giving her presents. This was really sweet. I thought he printed out every email they have ever exchanged.
Yeah.
And he bound it into a book. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah. Ben's a romantic. He really is.
Or Derek. It could have been Derek. Okay, so this is why I'm starting to think this way.
Okay.
Because he's in the shower and why did she want to go downstairs? Was there a reason? Did she need to get something? She wanted a robe.
Yeah, she wanted a robe for the closet.
But I don't know why. I don't know if it was important that she
I
had to
think
go
she
down.
wanted to go downstairs and get a glass of water or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, check in the closet. So clearly he doesn't care if she goes in the closet. He's not hiding anything anyway. And she's so short, and she sees like shirts on like a top shelf. There's like a step stool. She gets on there, and she accidentally hits like some secret compartment that opens. Herself. She's kind of like, and then because Ben's in the shower, she's like, Ben, you don't mind if I go into your secret apartment? Okay, I didn't think so. Bye.
That was funny.
So she can say, well, I asked you.
You just didn't hear me.
And she pulls out a box, and it has like the bloody scissors and sheet from when that whole scenario was set up. Now, this is what makes me think that it's Derek.
Yeah, it's a logical, reasoning.
Even though we're not supposed to know.
There's more to men, So, also Ben did propose to Meg, and she accepted.
Oh right, I skipped over that.
Yeah,
because she didn't accept right away. They had to have a whole conversation about it.
Yeah, of course.
But yes, they're engaged. That's gonna.
I loved the proposal. It was really sweet.
It was very cute.
Are you a Ben and Meg fan yet? Are you like shipping them?
I'm not a hardcore fan, but they're cuter than I initially thought they were.
I didn't start shipping.
I've been starting to like them more since Kansas.
Yeah, I think it's when that whole scene in Kansas where he goes to see her is kind of where this ship happened for me. But
that's where So, and I'm like I said, I thought the whole binding the emails into a book was cute. We'll see. I always grew up with like Cole and Caitlin being the couple that I like the most in my head, so like they're always like number one for me. But I don't really know much about their relationship except for this pregnancy drama. So we'll see. Maybe that'll change by the time we get to the end. Well, I'm actually shipping Eddie and Bet, but whatever. What was going on with Bet and Eddie? Oh, so Bet wants to like get Annie out of that meeting with Gregory because she's concerned about her. I don't know what she thinks Gregory's gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So she's like scaling the building. And she ends up in Gregory's. Well, I guess this is like a hotel. He met her at a hotel room.
Yeah, the same one they were just at with
Cole.
Cole, yeah.
So she scales the building into the bathroom of his hotel room where Annie is now in. And it's like, how did she know Annie was going to be in that hotel room?
But we do see how Olivia got out of the hotel. Like, Bet was going from room to room the same way.
Yes. So maybe that's how. Maybe because she was just going from room to room and she finally happened upon Annie. So, but Annie kind of assures her that she knows what she's doing and she doesn't need to be protected. And Bet ends up back in her room, and Eddie has like, it looks like a dinner and maybe champagne set up for them. And Bet's like, what do you think is happening here? Because do we need to have a talk?
Right.
She's like, I've had 7 ex-husbands. I'm a little cautious when it comes to these things now.
Yes. Speaking of her 7 ex-husbands, one of my favorite Bet lines was, "My 7 ex-husbands lie better than you do."
I thought that was funny though, because she's just like, do we need to have a talk? Do you like me more than I like you? But yeah, I like them a lot. He says that he just wants to be a friend, that he really cares about her and Annie, and they're the only two that are acknowledging that he exists anymore in Sunset Beach.
Yeah.
So back in the beginning, when I was really hating Eddie, people kept saying, you're going to come around to him, you're going to come around to him. If you people are still watching this, it happened. I came around to Eddie. Yeah. Just took about 175 episodes. So the accident. When we opened with that, I was like, oh, that's right. This is where we left off. So Caitlin drove accidentally the car off of like through what are they called?
Guardrail.
The guardrail. and it was like hanging on the edge. Cole was able to get to the car, got them out, but then while he was getting Olivia to safety, for some reason, Caitlin leaned on the car, and
It
her
was
other
so
car went over the
fast.
cliff.
It was so she was out. It was like, what are you doing, Caitlin? Like, what are you doing?
So the car exploded. Cole wants to go find Caitlin. Olivia doesn't want him to leave her because she's having pains and she's worried about the baby. And she blurts out that the baby could be his. And he looks all shocked. And I'm like, but you already suspected this. So why are you shocked? You basically were like screaming at her to say it. But okay. She doesn't even really know. She needs a paternity test. She just suspects.
Right.
So he goes looking for Caitlin. And I don't know if I looked down or blinked, but then all of a sudden, he called 911. He found the cell phone from his car, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Called 911. And then somehow he fell. Did they show that, or was he just like?
Yes, I laughed when he fell off the cliff.
I didn't see him fall.
It was so funny.
So now he's unconscious. So now he's no help because now he needs to be helped. The EMTs come, they find him, and they have him and Olivia on stretchers next to each other. They can't find Caitlin. They think maybe she exploded with the car. Cole's kind of in and out of it, and he doesn't want them to leave without Caitlin. We finally see Caitlin unconscious somewhere else, and a man approaches her, and he's acting very weird. He's like staring at her.
He doesn't speak either.
Doesn't speak at all. She comes to, she screams. He like unbuttons her blouse to put a scarf around her and then rebutton the blouse. Like, it was very weird, and he's not saying anything.
No. I thought he was trying to hurt her. I was going to try to rape her or something. I was like, what?
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what was. I
don't remember all these details.
I don't know why he's not speaking.
Yeah.
The only thing that came to me was when he gave her the cross. I was like, maybe he's a monk. And silence or something.
It started to come back to me later on what was happening. I was like, oh yeah, I remember now. But
and then of course my mind wanders to the future, and I'm like, is this where we meet Antonio?
I don't think so. Antonio comes on in like February, I think.
Okay, so we're close. We're not that far away. I mean, it'll take us a little bit to get there, but so yeah, he like carries her and then puts her down in another spot. But eventually she's in a bed in what looks like it could be a monastery, and he's not speaking.
Right.
Do you remember the episode of Buffy from the first season where she went on a date with the guy Owen?
Yes.
I thought that was him. I looked it up. It's not him. But the whole time I'm like, this guy looks so familiar. I was like, well, I wonder who he is. It's not him. What else happened? Oh, so she's starting to have dreams. I don't know if this is supposed to be foreshadowing of her thinking she's dying or that the baby's dying, but she's seeing, it's like she's in white and she sees like a nun that's all in white. And I don't know if this is supposed to be like foreshadowing of like heaven or something.
Do you know who the nun is?
No.
Okay. Well, it's a very familiar face. If for General Hospital fans, she actually just recently passed away. It's Denise Alexander, who played Leslie.
Oh, that was her?
Yeah.
She didn't speak either, though.
Yeah, she didn't, but she is coming.
Okay.
For her arc on the show. She does have.
Oh, in real life, she's actually going to show.
Yeah, she's going to show. Yeah.
Oh. I did read that she was on the beach. After she died, I started looking up her filmography.
Yes, so I think we might see her in the next episode. I'm not sure. So.
I actually started watching a little bit of Another World from the 80s, which is why I texted the group chat, anybody interested. And she's on it. I'm getting a little taste of her in different roles.
Yes, well, you'll see her soon.
That's cool. I like that these other like well-known soap opera actors are like making cameos and small roles.
But I think it is like foreshadowing of like her baby. I think that's what it was about.
At one point, they flashed from that to Cole, and I was like, are they trying to do some like psychic connection that Cole and her are having the same dream? Like,
right.
So once Gregory's done with his meeting with Annie, he realizes he has messages saying what happened to Olivia, that she's at the hospital. So he rushes over there. They say Miss Richards didn't make it, and because they mention a baby, he thinks that Olivia's dead and that Caitlin is fine. But when he goes into the room, because Cole eventually manages to get himself up, and he goes to see Olivia because she's like hysterical, and he like lies to Olivia to calm her down and says that Caitlin's fine, that they found her, and that the baby's fine.
Right.
But then Gregory walks in, sees Cole, tells him to get out of there, and realizes it's Olivia and not Caitlin. Excuse me. And he's very confused because they mentioned the baby. So now Gregory finally knows that Olivia is pregnant.
Yeah, finally.
And he's like blaming himself because of the plan. He's like, you didn't want to go through with it. This is all my fault. He's saying this between him and Olivia, but when Cole's around, he's saying it's Cole's fault. Yes. Sean managed to get a new hairstyle in between him calling Caitlin and like the hospital.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I've never seen him without the hairstyle he used to have.
Yeah.
So even though his mother's injured and in the hospital, he's basically telling them both that he hates them and that they're horrible people and that he knows everything. And he tells Olivia that he knows that she lied and that she had Tiffany write that note and paid her off to leave town. So finally Mark is cleared of trying to steal Tiffany from him. Should apologize to him.
Yeah, and for punching him too.
Right. You know what? I have to say, I was kind of glad Gabby wasn't on this week. It was nice to kind of have a break from that story.
Yeah.
We did see Paula though, and Lane in very like recurring appearances. It felt like they almost feel like they're not main characters anymore.
Yeah, they're being phased out.
They're being phased out. It's pretty obvious. Yeah. Especially with Paula being gone for months and then now this.
Yeah.
So why was Cole arrested?
We don't really know yet.
I thought at first Gregory had him arrested, and I was just like, but on what charges? And then I started thinking, was he wanted for the jewelry?
That must have had something to do with that.
Whatever it is, he was arrested. Then that's when we saw Elaine because she went to go visit him in the jail cell. And Sean wants to help. And Bet also is helping. And I thought it was funny because she just goes in the corner and turns the camera. I'm like, yeah, because that's how it works in real life. You just move a camera so somebody can break out. Where are the people like keeping guard of these cells?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. They switched Sean out for Cole. So now Sean is like sleeping in the cell. But Gregory will put a hit on Cole. And he says, I can tell you where he is. So he knows Cole's in jail. So I think that Sean's going to accidentally get shot because they're going to think that it's Cole because Gregory put a hit on him.
Right.
And then Gregory's going to have all this guilt that he like almost had his son killed. Because I know he's not going to die. I know he's on it for most of the show. But still, it's still the point that he's going to have his son shot. Or however the hitman to kill him.
Yeah.
It was a plan that he initially said to Eddie, but then he like hired somebody else.
Eddie's like his little henchman now, and then I guess Eddie. I don't know if Eddie gave him the information about who to hire for this. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it was.
Right. So Michael is repairing the cabin that got set on fire. But he's been having car trouble with his battery. So he like basically chances it and drives back up to the cabin. And
if you know your battery's gonna be die soon, why don't you just like get a new battery before you go all the way up there?
Right. Virginia makes almost like a picnic basket and brings him food. She says that she had a friend that was driving in that direction, so they dropped her off. And she helps him a little bit. He gives her, it's cold up there because there's no heat or electricity because of the fire, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
He like gives her a shirt, and then he's cold. Vanessa is like interviewing the cop that pulled her over. He like
Mm-hmm.
she shows him a picture of her, and he kind of tries to say, "Well, do you remember where you pulled her over?" And he's like, I kind of patrol a large area. I couldn't really tell you exactly where.
Mm-hmm.
But that's enough for Vanessa. She knows that she was not at that neighbor's house like she said she was.
Mm-hmm.
So then Casey gets his car back because it was in the shop at first. Because Michael had asked Casey if he could use his car, but it was in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
So Casey gets his car back, and Virginia tells Casey to drive her, and he's like, "Where are we going?" And she's like, "I'll let you know on the way," which I thought was smart, not to say in front of Jimmy. So he couldn't warn his mom if he wanted to. And they show up, and Virginia sees Michael basically like holding Virginia, trying to keep her warm, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
As she's like looking at him lovingly.
Yeah.
And breaks that up. She in private tells Virginia that she knows that she lied, that she spoke to the cop. And she basically says, "You're going to stop interfering with me, Michael, or I'm going to tell him." So she has that over Virginia's head.
She has the upper hand now.
Yeah, for now.
But Virginia's like, this isn't going to last long.
Yeah.
So I don't remember how Virginia gets out of this. I'm interested to find out.
I don't know. I can't even speculate because Vanessa hasn't done anything that she could hold anything over her head at this point.
Yeah.
Something else is going to have to happen. Let's see. I think that was that it?
You didn't miss anybody. I have a couple things to add. Paula was the one to arrest Cole, and I'm like, why did they send his sister to arrest him? Like, that's
right.
Really weird. And then it was funny. Cole like had a concussion, and he was like all of a sudden fine and like screaming around the hospital, and he literally fell off the cliff and hit his head.
Right.
And had a concussion, and I'm like, oh, but he's fine now, and he's just ranting and raving about Caitlyn now. Okay. And
yeah, he could barely get off of the.
He could barely stand up at one point.
Yeah,
now he's fine.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, when he got to prison, his where he hit his head was completely healed. He was fine.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
So when Caitlyn was in bed, finally, at that wherever she is,
mm-hmm.
I did notice that they did keep like this red spot on her forehead. I was like, okay, that's good what the makeup department did there.
Yeah, Cole though, he's fine. His head's fine.
I healed. Okay.
They healed very, very fast. So they started doing like repeating flashbacks. I don't know if you noticed, but
I did. I was like, oh, this feels like James.
That's one of the things. I mean, I love Senseless Beach. It's one of my favorite soap operas ever, if not my favorite. But they do use flashbacks way too much, and not even that. They do them 2 times in a row. They did that Cole and Libby flashback, not once, but twice in a row. I'm like, we just saw it 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, I definitely was aware of it, and I was just like, this feels like James Riley's influence because he's heavy with that. That and the talking.
You know how Passions is flashback heavy too. So
yeah, to something that happened earlier in the episode.
Yeah, even that, and it's like we just saw this. Like,
yeah, and I get it. It's for like the people that maybe tuned in late and didn't see it in the beginning. I get it. It's just to make sure everybody's caught up. But
yeah, a lot of people watched it live. I get it.
Yeah. So I'll mentally prepare for more flashbacks, I guess.
just get ready because you're gonna get tired of seeing the same ones over and over
again. It'll irritate me, but I'm used to it with Days, so like,
yeah,
that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. It's funny how Sean and Cole are all of a sudden teaming up because he used to hate Cole like a week ago.
But meanwhile, he was like, Cole's the only one that really cares about Caitlyn. And he's like, you guys try to ruin her life.
Yeah. All because of the whole Tiffany thing. And, well, also because he knows that they were going to steal Caitlyn's baby. So
I actually felt Bet had like the best emotional reaction to thinking Caitlyn was dead. It was almost like it was her daughter. She was like, my beauty, my beauty. I was like, oh, poor Bet.
Yeah, she was great. She did. I love Kathleen Newton. She's amazing.
The conversation with Annie and Gregory about Gregory knowing her when she was little, and Annie saying how she used to be jealous of Caitlyn and his relationship makes it sound like her and Caitlyn were the same age. And that kind of creeps me out, knowing that they might be romantically involved at some point.
And also, Gregory said that I learned from Dell how not to be a father because he was horrible to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was I liked hearing that. That was I think Annie. Now I think Annie's like really gonna fall for Gregory. I don't.
Did her hair look darker? It looks like a darker red now.
It look a little darker red.
Mm-hmm. I will say the flashbacks were healthy because when they helpful. Sorry, brain fart. When they flash back to the Jim Storm conversation, because I forgot the detail that she needs to.
Yeah, that was helpful. Yeah,
I was like, oh, she has till June to get this done. So.
But we don't know what that is yet. But.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect it's marriage.
Yes, correct. And you know to who.
But is it to like a specific person?
Yes.
It is. Oh, it is. Oh.
We don't know. Well, I know who it is, and you probably know who it is too.
Yeah, well, the way the story's going.
Yeah.
So Olivia needs a blood. Well, she doesn't. She needs to have surgery, and they might have to do a blood transfusion.
Yes.
So they said the father's usually a good match, so Gregory's going to give blood, but Tyus knows, and so does Bet, that Gregory might not be the father, and he's like, I can't discuss this case with you. She was like, well, she's like, what if she's like, if I get the potential other father here to give blood, that would be helpful, right? And he's like, yes. So that was before they broke Cole out of
right. So she joined Sean in the cause to break Cole out of jail for that reason, so she could get Cole to the hospital.
Right. So he could give blood for the baby if needed.
Yeah.
Because they're like, the baby's it's too soon. How far along is she? I'm like, she's like 9 months pregnant.
But they said she's in her second trimester. I'm like, no, she's.
I'm like, no, it happened in February. She's like, she should be due. But okay.
That baby should be here any day.
Yeah, she should be showing more than she actually is. Yeah, so I guess maybe next time we'll find out who this guy is that saved Caitlyn.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll find out why Cole was arrested, and we'll see.
I have a feeling it's something that he did before, and then Gregory found out, like, got him arrested on the charges. Or something.
It might be the jewels from, because where was he, Monte Carlo or whatever, before he came back? So maybe it's that.
Maybe.
And I guess we'll see if Sean gets almost murdered because of Gregory.
Right.
Anything else to add before we go?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Sunset Beach. We're going to head over to Patreon now and watch episode 211. So subscribe to our Queers and Soaps supporter tier, and you can watch it along with us. And as always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great night.
Good night.